Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about the books that I am planning to read for the month of April. April is a very special time because it is the first part of the magical readathon. For anybody who doesn't know, there is the magical readathon put on by Book Roast, and the first part of it takes place in April. I'm going to leave the link down below to the Book Roast's introductory video about this because they explain it so much better than I do. But essentially, it is a Harry Potter readathon. And in April, you sit your O.W.L exams. Essentially, you're given prompts for the various tests that you would take for the different, not categories, what are they called? The subjects. There we go. For the various subjects that you would take, there's a prompt. You read a book that fulfills the prompt. You have sat that exam. There is a second part that takes place in August, and those are your NEWTs. I'm not going to get into them because that is way complicated and I'll mess it up. But in any case, I love this readathon and I did it last year. Additionally, she has put out a career guide, and so if you're looking at these 12 prompts and being like, but where do I start? You can go to the career guide and it'll tell you various different magical careers that you can have and the tests that you need to take to be able to have that career. So I did that. I chose Cursebreaker. Partially because it just sounds so cool. I love the idea of being a curse breaker. And also because I didn't quite make it to Cursebreaker last year. I rocked the O.W.Ls and I was rocking the NEWTs until I DNF'd two of my books and I didn't really have anything to fulfill those prompts and I just kind of face planted at the very end. But that's okay. I'm going to try to get it this year. But reality is there's only 12 prompts. I am actually going to aim for just sitting every single exam and basically doing all those prompts because why not? But I am ordering them for importance because I may not get to all of them. And so I want to make sure that at the very least I am focusing on the ones for Cursebreaker. But let's get right into it, shall we? So the first subject is charms, and that is Lumos Maxima. We are focusing on Lumos Maxima, and so the prompt is a white cover, and so I chose Parallel by Lauren Miller. I had a couple of different white covers, and I chose this one because it's a standalone. But in any case, we are following our main character of Abby, and Abby has a plan for her life, and then she decides on a whim, she decides that she's going to take a drama class as a senior in high school, and it changes everything. And like a year later, she's sitting on a Hollywood set, and she has this wish that she could just rewind and make a different choice. And then she wakes up the next morning, and she's in a dorm room. She doesn't know how she got there, and essentially her wish came true of a sort. But there's a parallel version of herself that is making choices, and as she's making choices, it's affecting Abby presently. And so she has to figure out what happened and how to reverse it and how to deal with constant changes based off of these choices that this person is making. And oh my gosh, I'm hoping that it turns out really good. Time travel and alternate universes can get really weird, and so I'm hopeful that this will be a good one. After that, we have Defense Against the Dark Arts, where we are focusing on Grindylows, and for that, the prompt is a book set at the coast or the sea, and I am choosing One Salt Sea by Seanan McGuire. This is just a happy coincidence. This is the 5th book in the October Day series. I was already planning on reading this because I have to for my reread, so it just worked out really well. But in this series, we are following Toby Day, and she is a half-fae, half-human knight, and we are following her on her kind of strange adventures because she is called to figure out strange things for the fairies, for the fae. And so in this particular volume, 2 children have been kidnapped, and they are the children of the Duchess in the undersea kingdom that borders the kingdom that on land that Toby works for. And so Toby has to go track down the kids and prove that her queen did not kidnap these kids. Adventure ensues. I'm excited for this one. I really liked it. The Duchess that we meet for the undersea, Duchess Riordan. No, I don't remember her name, but she's amazing. We like her. After that, we do have potions, which we are focusing on the shrinking solution, and that prompt is a book under 150 pages. I am currently choosing Kingdom of Needle and Bone by Mira Grant. This may change. It really depends on how my anxiety around the coronavirus pandemic kind of goes, because this short story, Kingdom of Needle and Bone, is about a pandemic. And Mira Grant is a horror writer. And so in this particular short story, essentially most diseases have been eradicated, and now all of a sudden, and everybody's gotten complacent, and now all of a sudden one appears, and it is a pandemic, and there are some really bad symptoms, like side effects of this disease. It sounds interesting. However, again, because it's specifically written as a horror, I might have to find something else, because I might not be able to handle that. So keep an eye out. After that, we do have Transfiguration, and for this we are focusing on an animagus lecture, and so the prompt is a book or a series that includes shapeshifting, and I chose Ashes of Honor by Seanan McGuire, the 6th book in the October Day series. I chose this one because I felt a little weird choosing this one, because it's like, oh, I should have chosen something like with werewolves or something. But honestly, there is so much shapeshifting in this. Like, Toby is turned into a goldfish or a carp or something before this series even starts. Her queen is like always changing Toby's clothes because she can't leave well enough alone. Like literally transforming her clothes. I can't spoil, I don't want to spoil all the other things, but there is a lot of shapeshifting, so I feel okay about it. Now, in any case, in this book, there is a child that has gone missing. It is a recurring theme in this series, just so you know. But in this one, it is a changeling who has gone missing, and it turns out that this particular changeling is the stuff of the horror stories, in that she has way more power than even her pure blood parent, and none of the control. And she is a teleporter, and she is ripping doors into realms that are best left closed. So Toby has got to track her down and also get her to stop, right? So there you go. I'm excited for this one. I remember this one and I really like it, so I'm excited to get into it. After that, we have Ancient Runes, and for this we are focusing on the Heart Rune, and the prompt is a heart on the cover or in the title. This one was a monster of a task, trying to find something that wasn't a trashy romance. I like trashy romances. I just wasn't loving the ones that I was finding. Or like in the middle of a series, or something that I just was kind of meh about. Anyway, I finally hit on Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I'm going to read the first volume. I actually bought it. It's in the mail. I just don't have it yet. But essentially, this is a comic book. It started as a webcomic, and this is a bind up of it. And it's about 2 boys in high school. One is openly gay, and the other is this lovely rugby player, and it is a romance, and I am very excited to read it. I have actually seen screenshots of some of the comic strips, and it is adorable, and I am very excited to be able to read it, like fully and like in paper form. After that, we have Arithmancy, and for that we are focusing on the magical qualities of the number 2, balance and opposites. And so the prompt is to read something outside your favorite genre. And so for that, I am going to read How to Cheat a Dragon's Curse by Cressida Cowell, the 4th book in the How to Train Your Dragon series. This is the book that my older child has picked. It is elementary school. It's an elementary school book. I don't generally read elementary school books. I have recently because he's been picking them out for me, and that's the only reason. But in this one, our main character, Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III, his best friend has been stung by this very venomous dragon, and now Hiccup has to go on a journey to find the cure, which is the vegetable that no one dares name. And this is his adventure to find that vegetable so that he can cure his best friend. I've been enjoying that series. It's fine. I can understand why so many people like it. I like it well enough for it being an elementary school book. But after that, we do have Herbology, where we are focusing on Mimbulus Mimbletonia, and for that, the prompt is a title that starts with the letter M, and so I am choosing Magic for Nothing by Seanan McGuire. This is the 6th book in the Encrypted series. Yes, this was on my TBR for March, and no, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to get to this in time, so I feel comfortable just shoving it out to April. Also, you guys, finding books whose titles start with M has just been ridiculous, so that's super fun. But anyway, it fit, and so I'm going to do it. But essentially in this series, we are following a family of cryptozoologists who study and liaison with and sometimes kill the monsters that you and I don't even know exist in this world. In this particular volume, we have yet again switched perspectives, this time to the youngest child, Antimony. And Antimony is being asked to go undercover into this organization to kind of figure out what they know. And she's doing this at the same time, with very, very high stakes if she gets found out, by the way. And she is doing this at the same time she is having some physical issues that she has not told her family about. So I'm very excited to get into this because I have been waiting for the Antimony books for a while. So I think that Antimony might be my character that I really love. So I'm hopeful. After that, we have Muggle Studies, and the prompt is a book from the perspective of a Muggle, aka a contemporary. And for this one, I am choosing The Bride Test by Helen Hoang. And this is apparently the sequel to The Kiss Quotient, which I have not read. I'm a little hesitant to read because of some of the content, and I don't know Helen Hoang, so I don't trust her, and so I kind of want to leave that for a while. But I'm going to read The Bride Test. So I'm going to read The Bride Test instead. And in this one, we're following our main character of Kai, and he is autistic. Surprise, surprise. But based off of some of the things that happened when he has grown up and how people reacted to him, he truly believes that he does not have the capacity to love. And so, he grows up and his mom is just like, so when are you going to get married? And he's like, And so she decides to go to Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, and she finds Esme. And Esme is half Vietnamese, half something else I don't exactly remember. And Kai's mom says, hey, come back and teach him. Just teach him. And Esme jumps on this opportunity to get out of Vietnam, hopefully help her family out, all these kinds of things. And she goes and she starts teaching him how to love, I guess, and then she ends up falling in love with him. And there you go. That's the most of the story, from what I can tell. I did read the first couple of pages, and I really liked it. And so I'm going to go ahead and just jump in and read that for my Muggle Studies. After that, we have Care of Magical Creatures, where we are focusing on hippogriffs. And so the prompt is a book that has a creature with a beak on the cover. Now, what I chose for this one is based off of some basic assumptions. And it is that I'm currently buddy reading Six of Crows with my friend Tina. I'm assuming she's going to want to read Crooked Kingdom with me. Honestly, though, even if she doesn't, I'm going to pick it up. So, Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. It is the second book in the Six of Crows duology. For anybody that doesn't know, this duology essentially is a heist. The two books together are like the first part of the heist and the second part. And we are following Kaz, our main character Kaz, as he puts together kind of a misfit crew to pull off this like once in a lifetime heist. If they get this done, they can retire from anything. They can do anything they want, essentially. So, second book, I'm not even that far in the first book, but I am excited to hopefully reread this and decide if I want to keep this duology or not. After that, we have History of Magic, and it is focusing on witch hunts. So the prompt is a book or series that features witches and wizards, and so I decided to go with Harry Potter, and specifically Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This is a slightly weird choice for me because I generally don't just read random books from the middle of series. Like, I start at the beginning and I read all the books in order. But what I'm finding, this is my favorite book, and I haven't read it nearly as many times as I've read any other book in this series because I start the reread of the series, and like, I've reread the first one so many times I don't even need to read it anymore. And then I get stuck on book 5 because I don't like book 5. And then I get burnt out, and then I don't want to read this. I never read this book, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to read this one book. Now, this is pretty far down on my priority list, so I don't know if I'm going to get to it. If for some reason I'm getting near the end of April and I just kind of want to do this prompt, but I don't think I can get through this 650 odd page book, I will probably read instead In Salt Tears by Seanan McGuire. It's a short story that is set in between books 5 and 6, which are already on my list for this month anyway, so I just don't want to like plan on that one because it's only 24 pages, so I feel kind of weird including it. But I'm okay if it's an emergency. I don't know, we'll see. After that, we have the two categories, the two tests, subjects that honestly I don't need for anything, so I don't care if I don't get to them. But the first one is Astronomy, and that is read this book mostly at night. Again, I am assuming that my niece is going to want to continue buddy reading with me into April. If so, we are probably going to read the second book in the Invisible Library series. So I'm assuming, since that's my assumption, and that I will be reading it on Kindle, on my e-reader, The Masked City, book 2 in the Invisible Library series. I don't know anything about it. I don't really want to look up the description because I don't want it to spoil anything for the first book. But the premise of the series is that Irene is a librarian. She works at the library, capital L library. And her job is to go into alternate worlds and track down rare manuscripts and books and bring them back to the library. And so, the storyline kind of goes from there. I don't know anything about the second book, and this is kind of an assumption that my niece wants to actually continue buddy reading with me, which may not happen. If that doesn't happen, I'll probably pick up like Windburn by Shannon Mayer or something like that. Again, I don't know. We'll see. This is one that might change a lot. We'll see. And then lastly is Divination, and that is, the prompt is random number generator. Pick out the books you're willing to read. Do the random number generator and let fate decide. And so my random number generator came up with 56, which is Rush by Eve Silver. Essentially, we're following our main character of Mickey, who dies, and when she wakes up, she's in this lobby of the game, and she is like sent on some missions to eliminate these aliens. She's given absolutely no training. It is constantly like kill or be killed. She asks her team lead like what's going on, and then like it kind of comes out that this isn't actually a game, really. Like, she is helping what they do. She and her new teammates do now determines their survival and the survival of every other person on this planet. So, very interesting. this is going to be either really great or really terrible, and I don't really know which. Again, it doesn't matter if I don't get to it because I don't need this divination for anything, so we'll see how it goes. But that is all I'm going to plan on reading. I think that is more than enough for next month. I know it's less than I normally do, but honestly, like, I don't really want to overload myself too much. But yeah, that's it, you guys. If you're doing the O.W.L readathon, the magical readathon, please let me know. And if you need any suggestions for books that fulfill the prompts, there's the spreadsheets that are over on Book Roast's video, but also, like, I can try to help if you need it. But yeah, that's it. So until next time, guys, have happy reading, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.